Hello and welcome. I'm so glad I get to spend time with you again today. I'm bringing you an amazing woman that was diagnosed with MS at only 15 years old and has built herself a chronicpreneur business to support both her health and her life. But first, let me remind you that Patients Getting Paid is much more than a podcast. It's a membership community where people with chronic illness learn to find and create flexible remote work that both accommodates their health and generates an income. Imagine co-workings, trainings and workshops on things like how to build a website, voiceover work, writing for publications, how to become a patient advocate, selling on eBay, starting a photo management business, becoming a virtual assistant, how to start a podcast editing business, and oh, so much more. Oh, and weekly updated condition-specific gigs. To learn more or to join us, go to patientsgettingpaid.com. Hope to see you on the inside. Melody Sapien was diagnosed with MS at 15 years old and has been managing her symptoms for the past 8 years through nutrition and lifestyle practices. Since then, it's been her life's mission to guide other warriors and teach them how to do the same. For that reason, she became a functional nutritional therapy practitioner in 2019 and then a Wahls Protocol Health Professional in 2021. Today, she works with clients to help them create their formula for vitality that is sustainable for a lifetime. Let's meet this MS chronicpreneur. Welcome, Melody.
Hi, thank you for having me on. It's
Thanks for
been
being
amazing
here
meeting you.
today. Very nice to meet you. Um, I can't believe that you were diagnosed at 15 years old. That just
Yeah.
breaks my heart. What were you experiencing that sent you
Okay,
in?
that is such a great question. Okay, for me, and I feel like most people who are diagnosed with MS, it's just not an automatic answer. It's going to
True.
doctor after doctor and hoping you finally get an answer and not feeling like you're going crazy anymore. I would say my own symptoms probably started anywhere from between 11 and 13 years old.
Oh my
So by the
gosh.
time I started going to the doctors, I was a full-time athlete back then. It was around when I was 13, 14 years old. And each doctor would just say and tell my mom, because my mom would come with me to every doctor's appointment. She's truly amazing. And they would tell us that it was growing pains and I was just
Oh
growing, and that's why I
God.
needed to sleep all the time, which, okay, that's kind of believable. But I was also a full-time athlete. So all of the joint pains I was feeling, all the muscle pains I was feeling, it all had to do with like just an athletic thing. And so they
Oh.
would send me to physical therapy, they'd send me to chiropractors, and it just wasn't working. If anything, it was just getting worse. And then that was my life for about a year and a half. And then finally, one day after practice, it was a very intense practice. I went to go pick up my fork. I was eating my favorite pancakes after practice. And as soon as I picked it up, I felt a huge jolt go through my body. My
Oh
left leg
gosh.
started shaking. I had to drop my fork, and my whole family just looked at me like, this is not an athletic thing. This is
Right.
not growing
That's
pains.
not growing
And
pains.
no, no, not at all. And that's how we're
Oh.
finally directed to a neurologist.
Oh
And this
gosh.
neurologist was either able to pinpoint it at lupus or MS.
Mm.
And then
Mhm.
finally, within the next week, I was diagnosed with MS, and I was so grateful to just finally have an answer. But at this
To
point, like,
know. Yeah.
yeah, to know that I wasn't going crazy, because I
Right.
felt every doctor made me feel like I was going crazy. I was going to hospital visits where they would just tell me I was having an anxiety attack, but it was really just like an MS hug that I didn't know about.
Oh my
Like, there was just so
gosh.
many things that were adding up that I literally felt like there was something wrong with me, like right here in my head, in a
Right.
way that like I was crazy and not like something real.
I
So I was
hear
just
this
so happy to have an answer.
I hear this from so many people. I got super lucky and
Mhm.
I was diagnosed quickly, like from the first, well, I mean, I say from my first symptom, but my first recognizable symptom. Now I
Yeah.
look back and I can see it went back 30 years, right? But 14 years ago, when I had my first big like relapse and went in, it was only a month till I got diagnosed and nobody made me feel crazy. But I hear this all the time and I just think, oh my gosh, particularly at 15 years old, that's just
Mhm.
wow. You're a
Yeah.
very
Because you don't,
strong
thank
young
you.
woman. Very
You
strong.
just don't expect it to. So I
Right.
understand why doctors didn't find it right
Yes.
away.
Yeah, but still. They shouldn't treat you like that. Anyway, I digress. You were you were diagnosed, and you just kind of continued on with life then, and you went to college. But while in college, you got your certification in functional nutritional therapy. Have I
Mhm.
got that right? While you were in college?
Yes.
I mean, that's
While I
very
was in college,
industrious of you.
think
How
of.
did you have enough energy to do all? Well, I know you're in college, you're young, but still you had MS. How did
Yeah, I
you
did.
have that energy to be able to do? That's a lot.
Yeah, that's an amazing question. So as soon as I was diagnosed, I was put on the Wahls Protocol by my mom. Doctors really fought her on it, like really fought her on it, that I
What?
had to go on medications. I never took medications this whole time. Um, but I went
Wow.
on level 3 of the Wahls Protocol, so completely got rid of gluten, dairy, all sugars, and then implemented tons of nutrients into my diet, tons of fats, healthy fats, and then proteins. And then I did that, I would say 150% until I got to college. When
Oh,
I got to college, yeah. So I was
yeah.
amazing. I was doing really
Good for
amazing.
you.
And
And
I
then what
was
happened in
reversing,
college?
yeah. So I was reversing a lot of symptoms at this point, like a ton. Like I almost felt like I was normal, or at
Mm,
least
yeah.
what I thought a normal person
Right.
should feel like,
Right.
which
How would you
is
know?
not what I was feeling like before when I was
Right.
first diagnosed. Um, but when I finally got to college, I had a lot of friends that ate whatever they wanted to eat. I'm like, okay, like I'm feeling like normal. Like there's nothing wrong with me. Like I forgot I had MS for my first year or two, actually. And I studied abroad, so that's like a whole other story of just seeing
Oh,
different cultures and eating whatever they want. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I can have a bit of sugar here. I can have, it's okay if a little bit of dairy gets in my food, like I'll be fine. And then that was so wrong. So around the same time I was heading into my functional nutritional therapy practitioner program, it all came back. It all came back worse. All of a sudden I
Oh,
couldn't feel my
no.
hands. I couldn't walk around the corner. Like it was exactly what I was experiencing before. But of course, like I wasn't used to it anymore. I wasn't used to
Right.
feeling this way. I was like, okay, like I'm learning so much from this program. Like there's so much stress on my body. I know this other life stressor hit me at the same time. Of course, we all know what stress does to us. Um, but I learned and I remembered. First, I remembered that like food is our medicine and can be our medicine. And there's ways that we can manage our MS through food. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go 150% here. Plus, I learned in my program that there's no such thing as a one size fits all type of diet. We all have our own imbalances and deficiencies. And I feel like it was a perfect time for me to enter this program and to learn all this stuff to start repairing my own body based on
Mm.
what it wants. So it took about 2.5 months, 3 months to start walking regularly, to start getting back the use of my hands.
Oh,
And then
gosh.
ever since then, ever since I went on this, I don't know, it was just like a shock that this can all come back. But I've been 150% since then because I know what MS can do. And I think it was a good reminder for me
Yeah, you saw
that I
both
need to,
sides.
yes,
Yeah.
100%. And it's
Yeah.
not like I'm 15 years old anymore and I like don't really remember that because I grew up and like,
Right.
especially with MS, like we forget things that happened in the way past.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I
Or
feel like
an hour ago, whatever.
that happens too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, you are really very industrious, very impressive.
Thank you.
Can you share your chronicpreneur story with us? Like, how did you turn this
Oh.
into, yeah, what you do?
Okay, that's an amazing question too. So back when I was in college, I feel like I was just spreading myself really thin. I feel like what really helped me, and I know the pandemic was a horrible thing, but in a lot of ways, there was a lot of benefits for a lot of
Truth.
people. For me, I feel like it was being able to take a step back to see what I really want and giving myself a break in a sense to create a business. I was like, okay,
Mm,
I'm stuck at home because I'm not going out. Like, I'm not going to go out with my MS. Back then, I was also working at In and Out when I was going to college. I quit In and Out because, like, you see hundreds of people a day working at a fast food place. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I'm like, I'm bored. Like, I want to be around people. I want to be near people. I was like, okay, my dream was to be like Dr. Wahls. And I have this functional nutritional therapy practitioner certification. Like I need to do something with this. Like I want to meet other people that have MS. I want to meet other people that have an autoimmune disease that want to feel better. I was like, I feel like this is my purpose and my mission. I feel like
mm,
within me, I felt that for a long time. And I feel like this was just the perfect time to just launch my business, to start an Instagram, start connecting with other warriors. And I feel
mm.
like ever since then, that's like a year and a half, 2 years ago now, it's just been a completely different life.
Oh, that's so good. So, how does this chronicpreneur business help to support your health situation?
Okay, that's an amazing question. I feel like for me, although my diet and lifestyle really helps me, there is days where like I feel fatigued. There is days where like I have a migraine because maybe something slipped in my food, maybe there's too much stress on my body, but we all have those days where we just like need a break. And I
Yeah,
really love that I can literally structure my whole schedule. It helps me a
great.
ton.
Yeah, me too. Um, so, what exactly do you do?
Okay, that's an even better question. So for me, I really, as I said before, I believe every single person needs a formula that fits them. So for me, I meet all my clients through Instagram. So I
Hmm,
post on Instagram probably every day.
okay.
And then I also connect with people through my stories and DMs, but mostly my stories. And then when they come to me, like I love connecting with other people. And then from there, I schedule a discovery call just to get to know them a bit because I truly feel like the person you work with, especially on your autoimmune wellness journey or an autoimmune health journey, you really need to connect with them. You need to make
Mm,
sure that it's the right fit in a lot of
yeah.
ways.
You have to
And
feel
then,
like you can trust that person that's helping you, right?
oh, yes,
Yeah.
100%. I
Hmm.
100% believe that. And then from there, if they decide to become my client, I send them quite a few things. The most important thing I do send them is a functional nutritional assessment.
Mm,
And what that does, it's an extensive questionnaire. There's about 320 questions, but
Holy
it's
smokes.
really in depth on what imbalances are in your body, what you're feeling on a daily basis. I really truly feel that the symptoms you feel day to day has to do with what you eat, the habits you have.
Mm.
So once they fill out this 320 questionnaire, it comes out with a graph from your digestion, your blood sugars, your adrenals, your hormone levels. And then I get to see what imbalances and deficiencies you have in your own body.
Oh,
And then I
okay.
create a plan for them and recommendations for them to start following and implementing. And I usually work with people anywhere from 3 to 6 months now at a time.
Wow.
But
Fantastic.
really depends on the person and where they are at too.
Yeah. And so you identify, deficiencies and lifestyle changes that can be made and to make them
Hmm.
feel better, and then you support them in
Yes.
learning this and living
Yes.
this. Okay.
Yes, 100%. And I really feel like being accountable and being supportive is like my number one job too. So not only just providing them with a plan that I really believe in baby steps. So we go step by step. And then once they're comfortable with one goal, then we move on to the next. I don't feel like a
Awesome.
cold turkey point of view is good for everyone.
Yeah,
But saying
agreed.
that, doing one thing at a time and then meeting with them weekly to provide that accountability, provide that motivation that I feel like all of
Yeah.
us need.
And by meeting with them, is it all on Zoom? I mean,
It's
do
all
you
on Zoom.
so
Everything on Zoom.
okay. Okay, yeah. And this is where I think, and you were probably referring to this when you said during COVID, I mean, we learned so much business can be done
Yeah.
online, and why
Mhm.
not? I mean, you utilize the technology, right? And it
Yeah.
works for everyone, for you, and for your clients. I love that. And I
Yeah.
love that are you still mostly doing, like, do you get your clients mostly from Instagram still?
Yep.
Oh my
All of them.
gosh, that's
All of
magical.
them.
So that's so good. We need to talk a little bit more about that too. Um, so how much do you get paid for what you do, and is it steady income?
Okay. So I've only had this for about a year and a half, 2 years. As of the last, I would say 6, 7 months, I was making 2 grand a month.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
enough to live off of. But
Mm-hmm.
of course I
Well,
want more.
depending on
But
where you
right now,
live. Yeah.
oh, I live in Utah right now and
Yeah.
Vegas and yeah,
Yeah.
it's good for right now.
Yeah. Um, and what do you do about health insurance though?
I actually work at Starbucks 20 hours a week, at least, at
This is
minimum, because they provide complete health care for me.
This is such a great tip. Everybody,
Yeah.
if you've stepped away for a moment, come back to me.
Mhm.
Listen to this. Starbucks allows you to work part-time with full-time
Mhm.
benefits.
Mhm.
This is mind-blowing to me, and what a gift to
Yeah.
everyone. That's
I truly,
fantastic.
yeah, I truly love the benefits Starbucks offers. That's why I'm still there. I mean,
Yeah.
where can you find a flexible schedule that works around you and you get full-time
That's
benefits and a part-time
fantastic.
job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's allowing you not only health insurance, but it's allowing you to build this business.
hmm It's
It's
allowing me
great.
a lot of freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. So, okay, you use Instagram. Any other social media that you utilize, or is it strictly
Okay.
Instagram?
So Instagram, I connected to Facebook. Um, I also post on YouTube. It's not weekly yet, but I would say monthly now,
Uh-huh.
just to offer tips, to offer hacks. And that's usually
Very
what I
cool.
use mostly. Yeah.
But people are finding you mostly on Instagram and reaching
Yeah.
out to you and then
hmm
contracting with you. I love this
hmm
story. Um, do you have any special tools or apps that you find helpful in either your work or your chronic illness that you could share with everybody?
Okay, so one that I use for both my MS and with clients is an app called Chronometer, and this is where you track all of your foods. On Chronometer, I get to send my clients goals, whether it's micronutrient goals, macronutrient goals, such as your protein, fats, and carbs, on what I feel like would be best for their body, their specific body. And then, yeah, I just love it because it's very visual. And I
Wow.
love being able to see it like in its color reach your goal finally. And I feel like for me, that's a huge motivation. I'm a very visual person.
Oh
And I feel
yeah.
like that helps a lot of my clients.
I love my Fitbit when it tells me like
Oh, me
you
too.
made your
Me too.
150 step goal or whatever it is and I'm like that's right.
I'm
I
big
kind
steps.
of walk around with my chest stuck out like look what I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, I enjoy that. Did you call that a chronometer?
Chronometer.
That's an app. Okay, I've
It's an
never
app.
heard of that. I love that. Thanks for that.
Definitely checking it out.
Um, what about for organization? How do you keep things straight in your business? Like, do you use QuickBooks or spreadsheets? Any special things like that? Oh, you're
I
laughing.
actually
Okay.
read it down.
You
I
just
write
write it
everything
down.
down. I
Okay.
have a planner. It's called a passion planner. And it
Mm.
literally schedules, I don't know if you've ever used a passion planner,
I
but it
haven't, but
schedules
I've
out
heard
your
of it.
hours.
Yeah.
And I love it. And then you can to write yourself goals, whether that's work goals or personal goals at the bottom. And I just love the way it's set up. I also use an app and yeah, it's on your computer too, called Trello. Trello
Oh,
helps me organize all of my social media posts.
I love Trello. And I will tell
Me too.
you, if you decide to grow your um, team, you'll love it even more because you can give
Yeah.
other people access and it just streamlines. It becomes a great project manager. I mean,
Mhm.
it is for you right now, but it's so great when you
Yeah.
can plug other people into it too.
Oh, I bet. I really bet. As I said before, I just love the visual aspect of it and how it's could be pretty much easy to use for everyone once
Yeah.
you get used to it.
Right, exactly. Yep. A little bit of a learning curve, but not much.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, and it's super flexible. I like how you can drag and, drop things and change, move
hmm
things and whatnot. Yeah,
Oh, me too.
I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, I think you work with it for a little bit and it's pretty clear.
hmm
One other thing that you do, so that is your business, but I know that I found you through Kathy Chester, who I've interviewed on PGP
Yes,
podcast too. And you help her with her social media and you do
I
editing
do.
of her videos, right?
Yes.
That's so
Her podcast.
cool.
Yeah. Posted on
And
YouTube.
yeah, so that's another like side gig for you.
Yes. And I met her through doing a podcast with her and we just started talking. And I just saw that we have the same mission and vision with other warriors. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And we started just talking about like my background. And she found out like I just graduated with my marketing degree about a year ago when I met her. And yeah, everything just aligned. Like stars aligned
Good.
for sure.
Yeah. Do you think you'd take on other clients to do that, more of that
Oh,
work?
for sure. I mean, it's my
Okay, very
passion.
cool.
As I said, I feel like I'm always just looking for another marketing gig. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
what
so
I love.
cool. That's so cool. I love that.
Mhm.
Um, have you incorporated or filed for an LLC?
So my LLC is called Autoimmune Wellness Warriors LLC,
Oh,
and
I
I just
love
keep my
that.
brand
Yeah,
along every
right.
social media. Yeah,
Oh, brilliant. Yep, that's important. Brand awareness. So I assume you would recommend starting with a legal structure in place.
I definitely would right from the beginning. I mean, better safe than sorry in my head.
Amen. I
So
totally
yeah.
agree. And I don't know about you, but I found getting, now it's been years, but I found getting an LLC was really so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I was really pretty
Honestly,
nervous
yeah.
about it, but I thought that it was pretty easy myself.
I was too. My mom actually walked me through the process. She's just like, go on this website, like you'll be fine. And like
Yeah.
I filled it out. Any questions I would have, I'd ask her. But like it's really straightforward. A lot more straightforward than I thought it would be.
Right, me too. And
Mhm.
it's state by state. And for me here
Yeah.
in Virginia, yeah, like you said, I went online and I started to fill it out and I got stuck on something. So I just called the State Corporation Commission, who it's through,
Smart.
asked these wonderful women on the other end of the phone, and they
Mhm.
directed me. And I mean, I was done in no time. And you do have to pay. I think I paid $100 for it originally, and then
Yeah,
$50 a year to keep it up. But totally worth it for that
it
kind of
is.
protection. And just to be clear with everyone, an LLC
Mhm.
in particular, limited liability corporation, means that your personal assets are not
Mhm.
available for if you were sued for something you did in your
Yep.
business. So only your business assets would be on the table, which
Mhm.
is, I sleep better at night knowing that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I'm
So,
surprised yours was so much cheaper than mine. When I got mine, it was about 497.
oh my
I
God.
got mine in Nevada
Okay,
because
well,
I just moved over here. Just a
right.
little different.
Well, probably a lot of years in between too. This was a
Yeah.
long time ago
Yeah,
I got
that's
mine.
honestly, I was like, the inflation nowadays,
Right. Plus, yeah,
crazy.
mine was back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, but whatever. What advice would you give to other chronics who want to do something like more flexible
Mhm.
or remote, either full time or as a side hustle?
Okay, the first thing I would say is like, you got this, you can do this. And your
Great.
autoimmune disease may be tough, and just having a business may be tough, but if it's your passion, I truly believe like this can all work for you. But I also want to tell you, like, it is tough, and to remember that it is tough. So when you feel like giving up, like, just know that every single entrepreneur, especially people with an autoimmune disease, like, we're naturally going to feel that.
Yeah.
And just know that you can do it. Just that's the easiest thing that I can say. You can do it.
Oh, I love that. And you're right. I mean, it is such a entrepreneurship
It's
is a roller
it
coaster
it's a
ride.
mind game too. It's truly a
Yeah.
mind game of just like
It
yeah.
is. And that's, you know what? That's one thing I will say, is such a benefit of being in a membership like Patients Getting Paid, because it's other people going through the same thing. And so
Yeah.
you don't feel so alone and you don't think like, oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? You check
Mhm.
in with other people and they're like, girl, I've been through the
Yeah.
same thing. Like, just
That's
hang on, it's going
awesome.
to get better, or do this and whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. I totally agree, but that was great advice. I appreciate it.
And of
So,
course.
thanks so much for sharing your story, Melody. If
Yeah.
people want to learn
Thank you for
more
having me
about,
on.
you're welcome. If you want to learn, if people want to learn more about you or your business, where should
Mhm.
they go?
Okay, go to my Instagram for sure. It's
Yes, absolutely.
autoimmune.wellnesswarriors.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and best of luck with everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much.